Welcome, welcome, welcome. You're in the right place at the right time. Today is Tuesday and it's 5 p.m. Central Standard Time. And I tell you, we're going to have a great show today. I always say that because it's always a great show. My friend and brother, Mayor of Hazel Crest, Mr. Vernard Alsberry, is my guest today. And he's waiting in the wings, ready to get on the show and tell us everything that we need to know. So I'm not going to dilly-dally. I'm going to get my announcements out the way so I can bring my brother to us. So first thing I want to do is give a shout out to all of the healthcare heroes that are on the front line that help keep our loved ones healthy and bring them back to us. You know, there's a disease that's out there hurting people, and our healthcare heroes are on the front line fighting them, as well as other health issues that are out there hurting people. But our heroes, they do their job. It's a thankless job, and I like to thank them and let them know that somebody is celebrating them every time I go live. I give them a shout out and let them know I appreciate them because they are in a thankless job, but yet they show up every day to do what they're supposed to do and help keep our family alive. So keep your mask on, keep your distance, and try not to be someone that they got to patch back up and send back to your family. All right. Also like to give a shout out to all of the spiritual leaders that are out there. They're on the front lines seeking the face of God, trying to make sure that they can instruct us on what God is doing at a time like this. And I love to give them a shout out every time I go live. A special shout out to my mentor and spiritual leader, Dr. Hunt. He's been with me for over 30 years. And I promise you, that ain't an easy job, trying to help me out. So he does it with a smile. So if you've got a spiritual leader, pray for them, keep them lifted up so that they will do it with a smile. Okay, look out for you. All right, so let's go over here and get our commercial out the way. I want to invite everyone to go over to my website, ask-dr-ron.com. When you get over there, I want you to scroll down and you'll see some of my advertisers. You'll see RRJ Web Solutions. You'll see Prince Hunter Financial Group. You'll see Port Again Sam and others. Click on any one of those tabs, any one of those flyers, and you can go directly to their website. When you get over there, you'll be able to see what they do. Now, I'm going to tell you to pay close attention to Prince Hunter Financial Group because he is offering 4 free lessons, 4 free classes where he will teach you how to get involved in the Forex market or get involved in the stock market, learning how to trade. So that is a person that you want to call him up and say, hey, man, I want my 4 free lessons. And he will make that happen for you. There are a lot of people that are interested in learning how to get into the stock market. He can be the one to help you. He's got an educational system that works. And of course, there are other advertisers there as well. You can also scroll up to the top and you'll see all of my social media, my Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and my YouTube channel. When you get over to my YouTube channel, subscribe and you'll get notification every time that I post a new video. And special shout out because this is February the 1st, the beginning of Black History Month. And I have been celebrating Black History for the last 365 days because I do a Black History moment every Sunday. But since we're full circle, we celebrated a year. Now we're back at Black History Month. So celebrate Black History Month. Tell somebody a historical Black History moment, and let's keep it alive. Let's do it all year, not just once a year. Okay, let's keep it alive all year. Well, now we're at that time and that part of the show where I get to talk about my friend and brother. I have called him up and I asked him. I said, "Hey, man, I know you're busy man, but when can I schedule you to be on my show?" Well, the first thing he did was say, "Sure, I would love to be on your show." And then he gave me a date, and then he canceled. So then I called him back, and I said, "Okay, where we gonna put it at now?" So he gave me today, and he actually showed up. And I'm like, man, I got to hurry up and shoot this thing before something else happens, But and he is a stellar, and to say this does my heart good. He is a stellar person in the community, not just a politician, but he is also a person that cares about people, and he goes out of his way to provide for his citizens of his community and others. So, without further ado, welcome to the show for the very first time, Mayor Vernard Alsberry Jr. He used all his names. Everything he got, he used them all. Welcome to the show, my brother.
What's up, Dr. Ron? How you doing, kind sir?
Man,
My friend for
I
20 years. He cracking them into my. I left him hanging last time, but I know you innovative. You work it out. You always do.
hey,
Uh,
I gotta tell the story, man. I gotta tell the story.
that's fine. I know you gotta pump up the ratings, man. But that's okay.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
all
yeah,
right.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Well,
yeah.
it's my pleasure to be here, and always, anytime you need me, I'm ready to roll out there for you. And take the opportunity at this time to kind of come out and talk to you about what I'm doing these days. You and I go back all the way to the beginning of Obama days, and when nobody knew who he was.
Yeah, that's true.
You and I and Ralph, and how we brought him to Hillcrest High School, and everyone saying, "Obama, who was that? Who was that? Ain't no way." So
Yeah,
we was on the front end of the first president. We was running for Senate back then. But
right.
it's been over 20 years we've been knowing each other, man. So I appreciate that, and
Yeah.
thank you for bringing me on to the show.
Man, it's my pleasure. And you always have something going on in the community. And like I say, I know politicians get a bad rap, because they deserve it. Some of them deserve it. They lie, they cheat, they steal. And you in your existence in politics is not a person to have built your career off of those traits. You don't lie on purpose, you don't steal, and you don't get involved with things that could tarnish your reputation and legacy that you have built. And I find that outstanding, to be able to say that I know somebody that really, is for the people. Now you probably got some folks out there that's hating on you this moment, but that's okay because your haters make you strong. Your haters make you better. So everybody makes a mistake, throughout their life. But like
Right.
they say, as long as when you fall, you got to get up, and
That's all.
and you keep on constantly putting the forefront of the people first in your decision making process. And that's why I say I don't hesitate, and I'm not sucking up to him, y'all. I know this. I know this about him. And I've it's so crazy. He'll have a fundraiser, and of course, you all know the purpose of a fundraiser is to raise funds. He got, this room built out. He's got, entertainment, you know, and see, I'm a poor brother from the hood. So I'll call him up. I say, man, I ain't got no money, man. He said, well, come on down. You don't need no money. Come on down. And I show up and I can still eat just like everybody else, So, and I've always appreciate that about him, So now I get a chance to pay it back and pay it forward. All the love that he has shared towards me, I get to share it back, by offering up my platform to be able to say all these good things to him to his face. Because he didn't have to let me in, because them gumbo bowls and everything else that he was paying for, somebody had to pay for them. But he still allowed me to be able to participate. And I thank you then and now, because you are that person.
Well, I appreciate that, Dr. Ron. As you said about our name and legacy, all we have to hang our hats on at the end of the day is our name. And with 13 grandkids and one great grandson and a family of 9, You want to make sure that what you put out there is actually something that's positive and it actually uplift them, because it's always about uplifting your family and moving them forward. And so I always make sure, or at least try to make sure that the things I do are things that are reputable and for the people. I came from a community. I grew up out in Allgale, as you know, 130 Round
Mm-hmm.
Allgale Gardens, and one thing we used to say out there is one thing you have to carry, which is your reputation and your name, because that's really all you have. We didn't have much money, but your name was always important out there in that community. And what you did, I had two great parents. My dad was a man who worked, he worked at a restaurant downtown, the DeMar's Grill back in the days. Matter of fact, I used to bust tables there as a youngster. And my mom worked for Oak Forest Hospital as a CNA back in the day. So we was a family just trying to make it out there in Allgale. And I had six brothers with seven boys, no girls, and just trying to make it out there and do the things that were right as we was guided by our parents. But even though we said we come from humble means, in those days, as you remember, Ron, is that neighbors took care of neighbors, friends took care of friends, and
Yep.
that community back then. Basically, we were one of the first communities that had a enclosed community of black entrepreneurs.
Right.
Bill, the Durham family, Ernie Durham, Chappie Durham, ran the barbershop, ended up being millionaires eventually, running their hair care products. We had Mr. Cartwright, who was a black pharmacist that ran out there. We had OCs, and we had the little club out there that everybody went to. But when I look back, and we had Carver High School with Larry Hawkins leading the way, as I look back, that was really a small mecca of people. People say disadvantaged. I would say we have economically challenged, but we weren't disadvantaged because we had really leaders in our community who looked like us. That we could, you can't be what you can't see, as they always say. And so we all understood that. And then if you look at the Southland, you got people from my neighborhood, Michael Stelly, Judge Demetrius Cook, police chief right here in the Southland. And my privilege to actually being a public servant out here in the Southland. Whoever thought a kid from Block 7 on 130th would actually be in the mayor of a community that we used to as a kid can walk through. So, I look back at talking about my name and making sure our name stays clean and good. And I look at where I'm at today, and I look at that's a community that made me as a young man. And then I look at the Southland. I'm coming back from Air Force after 9.5 years and coming to the Southland and coming out here and becoming an elected official. And I look at the opportunity, which I roll to today, is that running for the 5th District of Cook County as a Cook County Commissioner, have the opportunity not only to serve the community I grew up in, but also the community that I live in. So I'm excited. I'm excited about this time in my life. I'm excited about this opportunity to actually bring back things to the community made me as a young boy. The streets I used to run out there and the things I used to do, and turn around living in this community and say, look, I'm not served as a public servant and a leader in this community. Now I'm able to expand it and actually go back home. We always talk about going back home and doing great things. As a kid,
Yeah.
I'm gonna come back there. I'm gonna do this. To actually have the opportunity, it's exciting. It's exciting.
Yeah. Now I got to talk about the gardens a little bit. I ain't live in the gardens. So, at that time, yeah, we used to I was from Harvey, so we used to ride through there, checking things out because
Yeah, I
it
know.
was
We gotta
it,
check
it
things out. Yeah,
yeah, it was a very closed community.
yes.
And don't mess around trying to pick up a chick in the garden because you're gonna have hell getting out of there with that chick. And I ain't talking about from her parents. Okay. I'm talking about from the brothers in the hood. Okay. The brothers in the hood was not playing. You ain't just gonna roll up in here and ride out of here with our girls. Okay. They was protective. And so it was a very and not just, you wasn't they had guns, they wasn't playing. They protected theirs. So yeah, the garden was rough. I God rest his soul, Ernie was a good friend of mine. And
Yeah,
man, he just died last year.
right.
And he was another brother. I don't know what it is about y'all that makes grandbabies and babies by the dozen, because he was another one that had a bunch of kids out of the
Yep.
garden. But he went on to be a success story. For those that never heard of Durham Hair Care Products, he was the creator of the S curl. So just a little Black History moment right there. We'll throw that out there,
All
you
right.
know. And but good people, when you talk about people with a good personality that cared about people and proud of what they did, and his brother, same way. Chap was another success story. Had a barber college, and I think to this day his Ernie's daughter still runs the barber college. I do believe they still in business.
Yes, they
You
are.
know,
They opened
yeah,
a shop up in Arizona, and they
yeah.
have a shop here. Yeah, those are Chap and I played football together in high school,
Okay,
along with Chief Cook. So
okay,
yeah, those guys we're out there. We all kind of became very close. Different families became close over
right.
time. We got another guy, Mike Sutton, who owns a construction company. Mike used to
Mm-hmm.
live over in Block One with Ernie and Chap. So yeah,
Yeah,
we're even though we're a community that have spread out over different areas, we most of us still stay in contact. We still talk to each other. We have that lineage of going from kindergarten to high school together,
yeah,
and um, and then we had to deal with Mr. Larry Hawkins, who actually wanted excellence from us, and he actually ingrained and supported us in program, which you called a program out of the University of Chicago, the NYC program back in those days. Who I kind of mirror that with my youth program in Village of Hazelcrest, where we actually went to work, went to school, really went to go classes in the University of Chicago. You play your sport, but then every 2 weeks you got a check from the NYC program. So the check basically to motivate you to go to get education, to be involved, and be in an environment which could conducive of you being successful. And we had a lot of
mm-hmm.
very successful people come out of that community. And actually, it was so important that you gave back then. We had block clubs, we had the thick pens or block captains, my block captain, who actually you went out and picked up trash. We had our parade. We had the flower parade. We had the little step show and all those things. I think we carried with us to our adulthood as we went to college or wherever we went out, and then came back to community and actually continue to promote those things because those were the things that made us successful. Really
Yep,
caring about people, and that's why you see that in Ernie and Chappie and Studley and Mr. Chief Cook. All of us came
yep,
from a community of giving, and so it's something that
yeah.
was embedded into us at a young age.
Yeah. Right quick, I want to give a shout out to Theo Huff. He's speaking to us today. We got a question, but I'm gonna get it in the second half because we're gonna talk about that in more detail, Gus. So don't go nowhere. We're gonna talk about it in a little bit. Donald Green, he said good afternoon, Dr. Ron as well. You remember Donald from Sweet Georgia Brown? Yeah,
Yes.
he's out there in Arizona now, but he tunes in quite often too. So welcome to the show. Now, because I know you and I know to ask this question,
Hmm.
I know that you spent a great deal of your career in the healthcare field and you recently resigned from that. You want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah. I spent over 36 years as a physical therapist assistant. Actually started that when I was in the military and provide physical therapy services for the Air Force families and Air Force active duty. Got out in '87. Actually went and worked for Mercy Hospital for a while, and then eventually opened up a physical therapy company with my wife Diane, where we ran for almost 20 years. We provide home health services, contract services, at the hospital. My specialty was senior care and sports medicine. Um, got
Hmm.
all of my training when I was in the military. So we ran that company for a while, providing services all the way north to 22nd Street, east to the Lakers, went all the way to Indiana, and then we went all the way out to if you go west all the way to Ashland and south to University Park. So yeah, 36 years providing healthcare service for physical therapy, exercises, amputees, patients who had knee replacements, hip replacements, strokes. We did the gamut. I was a generalist, most of the time, but also, like I said, my specialty when I did home health was senior care, and then I dabbled a lot in a little bit of sports. I did most of my sports when I was in the military, a little bit when I got out. But yeah, 36 years in the health field, enjoyed it, enjoyed working with people. We actually also ran a kids fitness center and tied that into our physical therapy. I did some also. I did a little bit of work with 0 to 3 early intervention, working with young kids who had birth deficiencies. Work with them also. So yeah, I loved it. I enjoyed it. I worked for Trinity Hospital for like 10 years, and after my wife passed from leukemia, I went on ahead and retired and from the healthcare field. But I'm still licensed. I'm still licensed physical therapist assistant, both in Indiana and Illinois. And so, I give some advice, but I just don't do any treatments.
So you got rid of your company, you sold the company?
Yeah, well, yeah, we sold the company. Well, matter of fact, right, we merged with another company out of Michigan, and then after we merged the company, sold the company. Uh, uh, Basically, when Diane came down, Diane came down with leukemia. I ended up
Mm-hmm.
going. I just, we shut it down. I went to work for Advocate Health Systems, and then stayed at Advocate Health Systems through that time. And we dabbled in some private practice a little bit on part time. But once I became the village mayor, I wasn't able to kind of do both. And so I worked at the hospital and did the village thing. I didn't do much private practice after that. And then, like I said, after Diane passed, I just, I retired from advocate system and just became more involved in public service. Do a lot of volunteer work now, besides what
Mm-hmm.
I do uh, with the village itself.
So if you had, I know you deal with a youth mentoring program.
Mhm.
So would you mentor young people today to get into that profession? Since you had such a long career in it and was successful at it, had your own company, worked for organizations, would you mentor and help young people get into that aspect of healthcare?
I still do it now. We have an organization called the American Academy of Physical Therapy, which was established in the city of Chicago almost 30, God, almost 26 years ago. We started the American Academy of Physical Therapy here with the sole purpose of educating and promoting the profession of physical therapy, both as a physical therapist and a physical therapist assistant. Matter of fact, Diane uh, was one of the individuals that started the physical therapy program at Governor State today. That program was supported by the American Academy of Physical Therapy and the Support Organization for Minority Physical Therapists. We advocated for a physical therapy program in the Southland region. Initially, through the Support Organization of Minority Physical Therapists, we tried to open a program at Chicago State University. We got the program up and running almost in conjunction with the OT program, which is going on right now. But we were not able to move the physical therapy program forward. But Governor State was interested in actually hosting the program. So, Support Organization for Minority Physical Therapists, which my wife was the president of at that time, was able to push and support developing the physical therapy program at Governor State University. Jerry Griffey, who was the president of South Chicago Hospital, which is now Trinity Hospital at that time, was also very involved. And Dr. Velma Evans, who was a physical therapist out of Indiana, they got together and helped develop and design the program that they have now at Governor State University. I was a driver. I drove them there and dropped them off. But anyway, they gave some input on how the program could be ran, but they were the brainchild behind developing and bringing the Governor State's physical therapy program to the Southland region. So, uh, and I continue to be involved with the American Academy of Physical Therapy, which was really an offshoot or part of the support organization Minority Physical Therapists. So I still go around and talk about the profession, talk to young people about getting into the profession, uh, the uh, the requirements of being good in math and science early in school, and then we advocate and we support them through the program. We give a scholarship out for students who actually want to get in the profession. Now, recently we developed a foundation in Diane's name at Government State University to actually provide scholarship for students who want to be in the field of physical therapy or who actually get in school and get into that program at Governor State. We have a scholarship program now through a foundation called the Joan Diane Alsberry Foundation, which now students can receive money uh, to continue their education at Governor State University's physical therapy program. I started that foundation last year. We had a big fundraiser at the Village Hall, the Village of Hazelcrest. We invited therapists all around the country. Came people that I hadn't seen in years. We flew in from Philadelphia, Florida, to come in and donate money to that foundation. So it's up and running now. I continue to be advocate for students of physical therapy, whether physical therapists or physical therapist assistants, because we work with people who have strokes, amputations, knee replacements, and we're only 2% of the profession. And so we've been advocating for years through our organization to actually increase the number of Black students into the program because even when you go to HBCU colleges that offer physical therapy, the classes are filled by non-Black students. If you go to
Wow.
HBCU and walk in, they usually take 40 students at a time. If you walk in, you might see one student of color in the programs. So
Wow.
we're trying to change that trajectory. We talked to Dr. Green at Government State University, and she's been working with me and other therapists to actually, again, recruit more physical therapists into the field and physical therapy assistants into the field of physical therapy because we need the services and we're not. Sometimes we don't get the services because we only have a very, very 2%. It's been 2% for so long. Is
Yeah.
and our
Wow.
whole developing this organization was to increase the number of minorities, especially Black students, into the field of physical therapy. But you have to take the sciences, you have to take the math, you have to be ready,
Mm-hmm.
and the school is really tough. When I started in this profession, to be a physical therapist, you need just a bachelor's degree. But now you need an entry level doctorate degree to get into the
Wow.
profession. So we want to prepare them to understand that it's not easy, but it's a it's a career that you will love and be proficient in way into your older years. As a physical therapist assistant, it's an 18-month program, and that program is, like I say, is again, you get out of school after going to school for 18 months, you get out of school making $35,000, $40,000, and so both tracks are paraprofessionals that will make a great career for you, and you're able to serve the community. And I've enjoyed it all the 36 years that I have been a physical therapist assistant and in the physical therapy profession.
Yeah. I also know that in your community, you encourage the young people to come together. I think you have a youth organization at City Hall. I attended when I first hooked you up with Doris, and she tricked you and me to come over there, to her young people's gathering at her house, and they
Mhm.
were singing rap songs and stuff that I knew nothing about. Uh, you know, but it was important for them to be able to have access to you and see a success story. And you showed up, and you were able to encourage the young people, and then you invited them out to be a part of your organization, to get young people interested in politics and see the benefits of what it is, firsthand and up close. So another feather in your cap, you were able to, provide something for the young people to do, because the young people just need stuff to do sometimes,
Right.
you know. And
Yeah.
and that was encouraging, to see that up close and personal. Of course, I stopped coming and you kept going.
Yeah, Doris roped me in. I love working with young folk. I know that young people, man. I have a pretty large family. Came from a large family, so I tend to connect with young people easily. Uh, and that, we rolled them into our Black History Month program that year. Remember?
Right. Yeah.
I
Yeah. Yeah. I
formed
do. Yeah.
And then from there, we had already had a youth program that we actually ran every summer. We run like a 4-week youth program every summer. It has a different theme every year. One year we had the world on water. And we said that because we wanted young people in our community to understand that the same jobs they have on land, they have on water. So we had them
Mm.
out on the boat. They seen the firemen on the boat. They seen the garbage collectors on the boat, the police on the boat. They seen boaters. They seen people just cruising around like people walk around. And the whole point was is that them to understand that you can have a career on the water just as you can have a career on the ground. And so that was really exciting. And went down to different organizations and actually see uh, how businesses run and work. So yeah, we started that program in 2013 with our youth. We've been running it ever since. We do 7, 8, and ninth graders, and then every 2 weeks we pay them $50. And then we
Mm.
do it for West residents, and they love it, and I love it. It's a lot of fun, and it's great to see them advance because the whole point of the program was that we were seeing kids who play sports and were active in 7th, 8th grade. By the time they got to high school, though, they weren't able to the curriculum. They weren't able to handle it. We seen kids just couldn't play sports, dropping out of school. And so my grandson, they gave me the idea. He said, "Hey, granddad, we need, I lost half of my team first market period." And so my thing was that I remember what we had in when I grew up, the program Larry Hawkins ran. I just mirrored it. And so when they get to high school now, that people in our program, by the time they get to high school, they're ready for high school because one thing, it's a fun program. Where we teach math and science. We also teach conflict resolution. We use college professors in the program or people who are professionals in the program. So it's not like regular teachers. And I have to give a shout out to Carolyn Carter, who actually helps. I think of things, but she make it happen. And so roll that program out to be going on all these years. Initially, MyJack funded the whole program. Uh,
Okay.
yeah, they funded the first year of the program. Jack Lanigan, God rest his soul, he passed away. He actually funded the program the first year and actually paid for everything. And then on graduation, I'll never forget, we had a graduation thing at that little soul food restaurant that used to be in Country Club Hills, D.A. Deli at that time.
Okay.
He actually came and gave each kid $50. He said, "My parents gave me money when I graduated. He gave 8 kids. We had about 30 kids. He gave each one of them $50
All
besides
right.
what we giving them every week." So we continue the program. We funded the program now through donations and through the village. And we fund the program no matter what. Even though nobody give us money for the program, we fund it because we find that this program has been, since 2013, a great program. Kids have done well. They went to high school. They don't drop out. They are very, very good students. So we're excited that we've been able to do this program. Our board has been phenomenal and supportive. And so it's a great program. We call it the President's Bridge Program. We hope it continues on and on and on. But yeah, we're excited about that.
Yes. Now, I got to give a couple of shout outs. John Thompson just came in.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to my brother, my good friend. And there's a question that came in at the very beginning
Mm-hmm.
when we first started talking. He asked the question, "What does a commissioner do?" So I think that's a nice segue into this segment.
Very good segue. And the interesting thing is that people do not know what Cook County Commissioners are or what they do or what service they provide. I come in at a point where we've had the same commissioner for 28 years. Commissioner Sims came in when it first cut out this district, and it's changed over the years. And so she's decided to retire this year, and it gives opportunity actually to reintroduce and re-explain what Cook County Commissioners do. And so the Cook County Commissioner we have 17 commissioners. They're broken up in 17 different districts. Each district supports about 300,000 residents within their district. And the job is, when people realize, they heard about Cook County Hospital. That's ran by the commission. They vote for the budgets for the Cook County Hospital. They vote for the budgets for the Cook County Jail. They vote for the budget for the assessor's office. Or anything that has Cook County on it, the Forest Preserve, all those are governed and controlled by the Cook County Board. Their budget allows them to finance all of these, or budget all of these organizations and more, from programs that have to do with youth, programs that have to do with monies to give to different villages and cities to fix their infrastructure, because the city of Chicago is a part of Cook County, and Cook County actually controls the services and the monies that come from the county and the city of Chicago also. So the commissioner's job is to vote on budgets, to bring in recommendations to which where money should be allocated to support the districts that they are over and the overall budget for the county. They give advice and consent to the president. For the president may bring forth some ideas and budgets. It's up to the board, just like in a municipality, or to actually vote on those budgets, to give input and direction to how those monies should be spent. The commissioners actually they're advocates for their areas. Like you have aldermen, you have trustees. They are the advocates for their region and their district to make sure that their district receives funding and services that support their district and the residents who live in that district. So that's a short synopsis of what a Cook County Commission is and the services they provide.
So, as we know, you have thrown your hat into the arena. We saw that great big Citizens front page newspaper that came out. Got it in the mail over the weekend with you, in the race for commissioner. And it also said in that article that she was not going to be running. So I didn't know if that was true or not, as a print of that magazine, of that newspaper or not. So that is true.
Yes. She decided to retire. Yes.
Okay, good. I just wanted to, clarify that. So anybody that's running, everybody's running for the first time to occupy that space.
Correct. Yep.
Okay.
It'll be a brand new commissioner, a brand new person who's in that space, and I'm reaching out for support to the citizens and to people, residents, and people to get actually endorsements to support my run for Cook County Commissioner for the 5th District. I think I'm the right person at the right time, and I think I can make a difference, and I know I'll make a difference. And I think to my relationships and things that I've done in the Southland region, that I could actually help move that process forward. It's a new day. It's a new day for the county, and people for a long time have slept on the county. It's my time to wake it up, to let them know the services that could be given to our region. Over 50% of the county's budget is healthcare, and so we know after COVID, we need to address now so many issues, from COVID to underlying health issues, to people being able to get services. And as you see in the county came out, county opened up vaccination sites, testing sites. These are the things that the county does that I don't think a lot of people even realize that these services are so much available to us. We've seen the closure of Cook County Hospital out here in Old Forest, a place my mom used to work at for almost 30 years. And the closure of that place somewhat, it left a little void for some services. But I see the county trying to revamp and redirect some of the services in a way. Maybe it'll be satellite services. We don't know. I want to be a part of making those decisions. Like I said, I'm twofold. A lot of my background is in healthcare. So I understand the services that are needed in healthcare, especially when you talk about physical therapy services and ancillary services that need to be provided. And then I've been elected official for some time. And so I have the relationships with elected officials on the federal and state and local and the county level. I've worked closely with President Precueco on some of the issues some of the support things that we brought to the Southland, like the Southland Development Authority, which is working to bring more businesses to the region to offset some of these high taxes that we have here. Because without businesses, the way the taxing process is made in Cook County, businesses don't absorb, the taxes, then us as residents are getting hit with those taxes as we see. And so I want to be at the table to actually advocate and push for services that's needed in the 5th District. Because if you don't know, if you don't know where to go, if you don't know who to talk to, if you don't know how to advocate and be able to stand with others, because again, you just can't come to this board and think one person is going to make a difference. You have to have relationships. You have to get people to vote your way. It's a vote. It's not like I'm coming in, I'm the new guy, and this is what I want. It doesn't happen that way. You have to understand the policy process and be able to work with other commissioners and work with the president, with the president to actually lay out your plan, lay out what you need, understand what you need, because I'm a mayor, so I understand all the things that we have to deal with every day, and actually advocate for it and get support so it can pass. That's a process that everyone, if you have not been in this world, if you don't understand this process, then we lose out. This is opportunity we cannot miss this opportunity.
Yes.
And when we talk about mental health, oh my, we talk about healthcare, mental health after COVID.
Yeah.
People can't go to school. People, if they spouses, they have to stay with their spouses 24 hours. They haven't done it in a long time. So the stress of that, stress of your kids being at home all the time and not being able to go to work because your kids are not in school. So
Right.
how do we deal with that? So that mental health component has to be addressed. And I have a saying I always say, and I used to say it even when I was in therapy. You go in therapy, I can see if someone has a broken leg or a broken arm or I need a hip replacement or knee replacement, but I can't see if they got a broken mind. That's
Right.
something that you don't see on the outside. But we
That's
see
true.
high crime rates. We see people getting angry about the smallest things. We have to look at the mental health of our community and actually address it, not only at the
Yeah.
adult level, but the children level also.
Yes. Shout out to Al Greer. He's joined the conversation. Gus asked the question: trauma care hospitals. What's does the county have anything to do with trauma care hospitals?
Well, trauma care, not really. Most of your hospitals who do trauma care, uh, we used to have Olympia Field Osteopathic Hospital here in the south suburbs who did all our trauma, immediate trauma care. I have worked on a commission along with State Representative Will Davis to try to advocate for a trauma care center in the south suburbs. Just because we both feel that Christ is just a little too far away.
Right.
Uh, I had a friend, a mutual friend of ours, who almost passed away, had an aneurysm, and that had to be helicoptered out to the University of Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
It's great to be helicoptered out, but sometimes if something happened in your home, you can't get to a hospital to get to a helicopter. You
Right.
have to be able to drive and get someone immediate care. The Southland is very strategically located where we have a lot of railroad tracks that if you're in a certain part of town and you're trying to get to a hospital and you got a train, you're in Riverdale and you're trying to get across it somewhere,
Boy, you know
it
you're in
ain't gonna make it.
trouble.
Because them trains will sit there forever. Blue Island,
Yeah. Yeah.
Riverdale, South Village, even some parts of when you're going from Matheson to Frankfurt, so we are the logistics of our region, and with the new push for intermodals, you see Amazons and other trucking organizations and other businesses. We have a trucking company in Henneth that just came to Hazel Crest. If something catastrophic happens, we need to get people to a trauma center. So I'm an advocate for it, have been for many, many years, along with State Representative Will Davis and others. And so we're still going to push for that. It's a very expensive process. People don't know in the morning when you have a hospital opening from 9 o'clock to 4:30, it's really a trauma center because every profession is there. But it's those emergencies when you don't when after 4:30 when you need a specialist that from gunshot wounds to major car accidents to job accidents. I think we need something here in the Southland region.
Yeah. Now, you may or may not know the answer to this, but I know they closed down and tore down what was St. James Hospital in Chicago Heights. Was that not a trauma center?
No, the trauma center that we used to have was Olympia Field Osteopathic, which used to be which is a part of St. James, which is in Olympia Fields. That was a trauma center for many, 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 many years. When I first
Got
moved down
you.
here, the trauma center, due to economic issues, because it's very expensive, they decided to abandon that process.
Got you.
St. James Hospital was not St. James and Chicago Heights was not the trauma center. Trauma center was on Olympia Fields.
Got you. Okay. Yeah. I know they tore it down, and then I know they were supposed to have plans to rebuild it, and it's been sitting there, ain't nothing happened.
Yeah,
So,
they're building a urgent care center right now.
okay. Got you. Yeah. Uh-oh. Here we go. Roseland Hospital underfunded. Yes, we know. That's Gus. Now I got a question. With you pursuing after this commissioner seat, what are you going to do with your mayor seat?
Well, that's a decision. I got to win this this one first. Uh, I run them in silos. I still got to be the mayor, and take care of my mayor position, and I'm running for this position. What I'm gonna do after the election, I have to decide at that time. My
Okay.
thing is that you hate to say, well, if I win, I'm going to lead a mayor seat, and everybody's rushing for your mayor seat before the election has even happened.
Right. Completed. Right.
My thing is to take care of my community and continue to run my community right now. And then after I'm elected, if I'm victorious, to make that decision because I may not win. So I
Yeah.
can't say what I'm going to do. I keep them both in separate silos so I can continue to do the job I'm doing as mayor and run for this commissioner seat. And then once I'm victorious, then make a decision. But right now, I want to make sure I keep them separate so people know I'm still the mayor. I'm not going nowhere right now. This is a process I have to go through to run for another elected office, and I'm working through that process.
Now I'm gonna ask that same question about
Mhm.
your Bremen seat that you sit in.
Oh, I'm a Democrat.
Yes.
But
So.
I tell people they got to understand that's two different worlds. The Bremen Democrat organization is a Democratic position. It's you'll see a lot of elected officials. They are committeemen, and they're elected officials. The committeeman seat is a organizational seat, and so when you run for Democratic committeeman, only people can vote for you is Democrats, and so it gives you an in into the organization. You know, most elected officials, uh, to be a Democratic committeeman, not be elected official is doesn't help you. You have to be.
Hmm.
It's best to be elected official and be the committeeman, so you can be involved in the process of policy making. So the Democratic, like if I was a Republican, you have the committeeman for the Republic. They actually work within the Democratic Party to help candidates run, support judges that are running on the Democratic ticket to try to get Democratic judges elected, and actually support the Democratic Party in your area. So, that seat, most elected officials they run to be Democratic committee, but it's an organizational seat. You don't make policies for your town or village or anything. You only make policies for the Democratic organization only. And so you have no impact on day-to-day lives or day-to-day residents or day-to-day laws. You only impact the Democratic Party only.
Okay. So thank you for clarifying that, because some people would think he already doing this and he already doing that. So we want to try and clarify and give
Yes.
people no confusion about where you're sitting, what you're doing in those seats, and one thing about your tenure as
Mhm.
being in public office, you have had a very good working relationship with many politicians that are in position. Like you said, Will Davis, another good friend of mine, and many others. So let's talk about the district, the fifth district. Now, what does that encompass? So who would be able to support you, with this run? Because it covers parts of Chicago and parts of the suburbs, so, and like you said, some of these maps have redistrict, but
Mhm.
what areas would people be able to support you?
Well, the fifth district consists of parts of some and all of others. And so when you're coming from Chicago, it represents part of the Ninth Ward, up to about like 93rd Street, which include Allgill and Roseland area. Then it includes part of the 34th Ward. Not as far as all the way to Morgan Park, but where you're looking at uh, uh, Christ Temple Church in that area off of Halsted, that's part of the 34th Ward. So it has parts of both of those. And then as you come south, it has all the Riverdale, all the Calumet Park, all of Blue Island. And then when you move back some more, we have all of Dalton, part of South Holland, all of Markham, all of Hazelcrest, all of Country Club Hills, part of Posen, just about all of Posen, part of Midlothian, part of Tinley, part of Oak Forest, part of Tinley Park. And then you go down more, we have part of Olympia Fields, part of Flossmoor. And then we go over, and then we have some of Chicago Heights, about half of Chicago Heights. Then we drop over to, I mentioned part of South Holland. Then we jump over to, we got part of Glenwood. And then you jump down, we have part of Park Forest. I think we have all of Fort Heights. And so trying to make sure I got all that. We don't have none of the Will County parts. So that's, in a nutshell, that's all of the area we have. We all have all, like I said, most of Thornton Township, which includes, like I say, Riverdale, a part of South Holland, all of Riverdale though. So that's the district. It encompasses almost 300,000 people. It's changed. Most of the district is now south. It used to be more of the Ninth Ward. It used to be more of the 34th Ward, but due to the population change, people have migrated south or out of the city or south, and the numbers are now in the Southland. So it's really a South suburban seat. It represents 75% of the district is South suburban area.
Hmm. Now, Gus is asked another question.
Mm-hmm.
Do you believe in the precinct captain system of old time Chicago?
That's a Chicago system, not an official system. That's a
Hmm.
system that was developed by aldermen and making precinct captains to go out and help work the campaign, work your people to get them out there. And so that's that. I mean, uh, people make people precinct captains. I think some of the old schoolers out of Chicago still have precinct captains. You don't see that a lot in the suburbs. You just see people live in certain areas and they support. The precinct captain is uh, something that people use in the city of Chicago so big. So you have people who ran different precincts. Now you don't see a lot. I'm not in Chicago, so I don't know if they still do it in Chicago as much in some areas. You may see some parts of Chicago that still do it. I've not seen that in the south suburbs, precinct captains per se. So I haven't seen that in the south suburb. No.
Okay. All right.
And do I believe?
Um,
Hey man, people go. They want to develop a system like that. No, it's up to the elected officials if they want to get their residents and citizens involved.
yeah. But most mayors, in the Southland usually control a majority vote in their community. And if they throw their support behind you, then generally you can count on a lion's share of the votes coming out of that community being there for you. But that's not a precinct captain type system.
Right.
It's just a mayor that you have worked with, through organizations like the Black Mayors and Managers and the other organization. We used to call them the Black organization and the White organization. The or black, the regular mayors and managers that encompassed everybody. And I know you have sat as president in both of those seats, over time. So, people are familiar with you. You have bought, services and goods to the mayors that some have been able to take advantage of over time. So it's been, nothing but a good relationship that I know of, unless you know somebody that's trying to stick a knife in your back, you know, you know, but that's usually the way the suburban area has generally supported one another.
Right. Yeah, the mayors are usually advocates for uh, their community. I've been blessed to be, like I say, the president of South Suburban Mayors and Managers and the president of South Suburban Regional Mayors by Caucus. I've been blessed to have the endorsement of the most of the mayors out here, from the mayor of Phoenix to the mayor of Country Club Hills and the mayor of Markham and the mayor of Dalton and the mayor of think of the other one, Midlothian and others out in our area. And I've been, helped and it's been great. Some of the church members out here, Victory Apostolic, Andrew has been Singleton is a great supporter, and Ron Wilson's a great supporter. My pastor, Pastor Andron Robinson, is a great supporter. So I've been blessed to come out with support and support from the committeemen, from Bob Rita uh, to Calvin Jordan, to our Senator Mike Hastings, our state rep Debbie Myers Martin, Will Davis. These are people who are supporting and endorsing me that I'm excited about, who have been part of the process before Frank Zuccarelli passed. He was one of my endorsements. And so, I say these things because these are people who see the work that we do as a group. It's not just me, because what we do understand is that those relationships makes the Southland stronger. And
Hmm.
you know, it's nice people say I want to run, I'm new, and this is a democratic process. People have the right to run. They do run, But I'll say this, that we're in the Southland on the verge of actually doing some great things, and relationships matter. You have to lead with actions. And I think that I've led with action. I think I've maintained relationships and support to move things forward. And then when I advocate for something at the county, they will advocate with me. You can't advocate alone,
Right.
and I'm looking forward to build those relationships with those commissioners on that board who I've known, a lot of them I've known a very, very long time. And I know that because of that, they know me also. And so I can have those conversations of support and advocacy for the Southland region. I don't have to learn. I don't have to worry if they're going to help me or where they worry about if they're going to support me. I have those relationships already.
Yeah. Now I got to ask the question. We know that last year that they finally made a decision to put the next casino or one of the next casinos in your surrounding area. So what's your feeling on that? Just just out of curiosity.
Well, casino is something I think they've been working on for 20 years. I think we had so many different plans. It was going to put it. Country Club Hills was one of the first ones that came out advocating for it. Then they decided not to actually put their hat in the ring. The casino was voted to come out to East Hazelcrest and to Homewood. It's coming. It's going to be here. We're looking. I'm talking to some of the local mayors that surround us, like mayors and the mayor from Markham, the mayor for Country Club Hills. We've had conversations on how do we build around that whole process? How do we do something that's going to be comparable with the casino as it comes? What kind of services we're going to be able to surround that casino so that we're able to bring tax dollars and services and events issues here in the Southland. Maybe nice restaurants and entertainment centers. How do we build around that casino? And so we're excited about that. And that's coming. We was gonna be excited if it came to the Southland anyway. It's closer to Hazelcrest now, and so now we have to look at how do we build it out and to make sure it supports the region. Dr. Ron always say, when you talk to me, I talk about the region. It's not
Mm-hmm.
about because if we don't all work together, it doesn't make a difference if it was in Matson or if in East Hazelcrest and Homewood. We have to make sure that when it comes, it provides us the rise in the Southland. We have some of the highest taxes anywhere, and so we need development and we need an injection of uh, economic jump to make this region be able to grow. So I'm excited it's coming. Um, some people may feel, some people are not for gambling, some people are not for drinking, some people are not for weed, but it's here. So how do we
Right.
make it all work together to betterment of our community and the region?
Amen. I like that. I like that answer. Well, I know you can't believe that it's almost an hour was over with. We only got a couple more minutes left on the show. Because, all I got to do is throw a question out there, boy, and 20 minutes later, I know I can get back in. that that's the good thing about working with a public speaker, boy. You're gonna make a point. But I always ask this question of my guests when they come on the show. And I want to say this before I ask the question. His information is right there in the email there, info@alsberry for commissioner.com. Please send him an email if you want to participate, get more questions. If you'd like to invite him out to speak at your event, please reach out to him. I'm sure he'll make himself available to be able to, to help make people more informed about what he does and how he does it. I've had the pleasure and the honor of been knowing him for a while. So if you need to know more information, reach out to him. So the question that I always ask, of my guests before they leave is, what would you like to leave with the people before you get out of here today?
Well, I like to leave with the people with this, that this is a very important race. It's the first time in 28 years that you're able to choose who your Cook County Commission is. I've kind of laid out what commissioners do, those of you who don't know, and the importance of this new open office. I'm asking for your vote. I'm asking for your support. I'm asking for your financial donations. But I promise you this, when I'm elected, with your support, I will provide the best I can as a Cook County Commissioner. I will not only provide services for the Southland region, but also our Chicago counterparts. And my uniqueness is that I have lived in both of those environments. I have lived in the city. I was raised as a city as a young man, and I've lived over 20 years in the south suburbs and have been active. So what I ask is for you to support me, sign my petitions because they're going around. That's the only way you can get on the ballot. They sign your petitions, and then support me as I make this race, not for only for me, but this race is for the Southland.
Yes. Well, thank you. I'm gonna ask you a question. Will you come back and
Mhm.
visit me again?
Yes, I will. After we win, I'll be back.
Oh, you got to win
Or if we
first.
win, I'll be back.
All right. Well, look, man, I thank you. I appreciate you. I love you, man, and ain't nothing you can do about it. Thank you for putting me on your schedule and coming out and hanging out with us. You know, I think we got a lot accomplished today. People that didn't know you, I think they got insight into you on today. So I want to say, keep up the good work, man. Keep doing what you're doing because evidently you're doing something right because it looked good on you. You know,
Thank you. Thank
shout
you, Dr.
yeah, shout out to my brother before we go, Dr. Reggie Miles. He's on the line. He came in a little late. I did want to shout him out. He's also one of my colleagues on Street News Now on Thursdays. You know, we have the information on my website. We're going to throw this up. You stay right there. Don't move. We're going to throw this information up in closing. Please go over to my website, ask-dr-ron.com. Please, 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 you know, support all of my advertisers. Without them, I would not be able to do what I do. If you'd like to make contributions to the show, this is all of my information on how to make contributions. Please go over to my YouTube channel, subscribe, hit that like button and that share button and make it possible for people to see what you have just enjoyed. So, in parting, I want to thank you all. Please support my brother. I believe he would be an excellent candidate and or commissioner once it happens, you know, to be able to look out for us, especially if you live in his area. He's not, you know, partial. He's fair, you know, and he's a good person. So without further ado, I look forward to seeing you all on next week. And you all stay blessed, stay safe, wear your mask, keep your distance, and we'll see you all on next week.